Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, yeah, moving on from
Do you want to talk about
AI characters.
Spiderman as Jake?
Spiderman, as Jake calls it.
Spiderman.
Spiderman. Oh, what a game. What a game.
Excuse me if I switch off.
It's great. It's
not that what he's about to say is boring in any way. It's just
I've told her it all.
I've heard this as it's been going through the game. I look at my phone and I've got like 50 messages and it's like, blah, 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 oh my god, Spider-Man.
As you can probably tell by looking behind us.
If they're on audio.
If you're on audio, I have a load of Spider-Man pop figures and statues behind me.
That's right.
And
a giant
I'm not obsessed.
Spider-Man canvas over there.
Which I would get, but it'd make a lot of noise. So that's not yeah, I like Spider-Man. And this game has done Spider-Man justice on a better level than any of the movies, in my opinion.
What about Tom Holland though?
Tom Holland's great, but this Spider-Man is... I don't want to start dishing out Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I do like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, but the story for this game is way better than any of the movies' Spider-Man story.
I'll let that fly.
I'll let that go. Way better. It's just... It's hard to describe this game. Because it's basically Arkham City and Arkham Knight and all the Batman games, but like on a better scale. With a better superhero in my opinion. But, you know, he's my favourite. He's my favourite superhero. And,
Discord.
And I've always wanted to see a really good Spider-Man game. Now, the last good Spider-Man game we had before this was Spider-Man 2, which was great in its time, but it was PS2. And,
I agree.
You know, there's only so many kids you can get the balloons for and save people from falling off the building, the same builder every time. But this game, it's open world, obviously, and the swinging mechanics are just on point. Like, it feels so like fluid,
natural,
and
intuitive.
Literally, like you're going through and you release from one swing and you go to another, and it's just like it feels so natural. Even if you go into a building, you don't stop at any point. You just like, if you're holding R2, as long as you're holding R2, you run up the building, you do a flip over like a pole or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so easy to get across the city. Like I struggled with it a bit at the start because I thought I'd be held back a bit more by other stuff, so I was just like doing simple swings. But like when I started like going into buildings and it didn't really matter, and I was doing
it's like Sunset Overdrive, isn't it?
It's like that, but like you can go for the whole city without touching the floor. Ever.
But when I first started playing Sunset Overdrive, I was like, I don't like all this grinding. Like, it's so much easier to walk, and then you realise I can't walk.
Yeah, you can't walk. Not a good idea to walk.
I'll get wrecked. and then like you say, you play it for a bit longer, and then it's like second nature, isn't it? Yeah. Like you don't even think about it.
I mean, by the time I get to the end, I'm a fucking master swinger. I have to say, like I'm literally swinging through the city, like picking up guys, picking them as I'm going down, and it's just great. There's loads side mission wise. That is my only issue with it. Like, so there's some side missions in this game where you're sitting there thinking, I'm Spider-Man, why am I doing this? Like, I understand he's a friendly level of Spider-Man, and sometimes he's going to do some of the, like, I'm pretty
saving
sure
cats from tree level.
Well, that kind of level of stuff. That's not it, but it's that kind of level of stuff, and you're like, there's bigger things going on in the story that I feel like is a bit more inclined to get done.
Do you know the trouble though? Like, when we think of Spider-Man, especially like with the MCU now, like people who like young kids or people who are not really into the comic books or whatever, and they only have the MCU.
Yeah.
Like, it's always that question of whenever a new movie comes out, people are always like, well, what did Iron Man come over and why didn't like Captain? But like, like Spider-Man's in this neighborhood and he's the only hero in that area.
On the ground kind of thing.
Like, it's like Daredevil's in Hell's Kitchen.
Well, Hell's Kitchen is in the game.
That's what I'm saying, but like...
A lot, to be fair.
They all kind of deal with their own patch.
Yeah.
Don't they? Like, that is how they have to pretend that it works.
Yeah.
Like, Daredevil's not going to pop over to save a cat from a tree because Spider-Man's like fighting the goblin. Like, it's not going to work like that.
True. I don't think Daredevil could get up a tree, to be honest.
Of course he could. Don't start chatting shit about Daredevil, I swear to God.
But
I love Deditae.
The level of like the side missions. There's two of them I have an issue with. I'll tell you about one of them because it's really early in the game and you get it like straight away. It's Harry Osborn's like labs. They're like these little Oscorp labs, which he'd like do nature stuff, and he was in charge of them before he went away on his little retreat. He's basically there's one. The first one I got to, which was really disappointed with because like I was hoping it wasn't all the same, and majority aren't, but there are a few that are like the same. And you're swinging, you got to collect these air particles because of bad pollution or whatever, and you're going through it. You just got to swing through these clouds of gas, and I'm like, I don't want to be doing this right now. Like this isn't fun.
but no,
I did them because I wanted a platinum.
I think it's like Harry asks Peter, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So like he doesn't know
Spiderman.
that you're like that. So from that perspective,
yeah,
it's Peter's like jam.
I understand. I guess they're trying to show the sciencey side of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because a lot of games and movies have brushed over it and don't really show that side of him. Whereas in this, it's his Peter Parker side is just as prominent or just as important as his Spider-Man side, if not more important in this, like especially the story. Because it's like when he's in the lab, you can do all these different like
experiments.
It kind of experiments. They're like what's the spectroscopy or whatever it's called. It's like you're making up all these lines on this thing to make an element. You got all this element, but there's loads of them, and there's a lot of them where you're like, I don't want to be doing all of these right now. Like you have to do some of them, and there's other ones where it's like you got to make a circuit, which are fine, easy enough. Like I worked them out. I did them all because I platinumed the game, but I had to go back at the end to do them all because I couldn't be asked to do them when I did them. That's just enough to get through the story. Like, but he's in this story he's a scientist. That's his job. I won't say who he works for.
We're trying.
I'm skirting around spoilers.
I was like, he's not going to say what I think he's going to say.
I won't say who he works for because it's kind of a spoiler, but it's the story in this game is one of the most well woven Spider-Man stories I've ever seen. Like, it's got the right amount of villains in it.
That's what Spider-Man suffers from, isn't it?
Too many villains.
Because obviously, like, Spider-Man very rarely gets paired up with another hero.
It never does.
Like, obviously not in the game, but like, yes. I think that's the trouble. A lot of the movies have gone like, there's so many villains in the movies or in whatever, and then obviously it's just Spider-Man, and it's overkill.
Yeah,
it's too much.
Especially, we all remember how Spider-Man 3 turned out.
I've only seen that movie once.
Oh, it's a terrible movie. I've still watched it more than once though. But that's how much I love Spider-Man. I have to put myself through that pain. But the villains, it's the right amount of villains. Some people, obviously they've seen a certain amount of villains in the trailers, so I can talk about them. You got Martin Lee, Mr. Negative, who is one of the prominent villains. In the game more than you think he would be.
Yeah. And
he's more prominent and important than you think he would be. Because like you see in the trailer, you think, oh, he'll be like the first 20 minutes of the game, or like first couple of hours until you get to the big villain. But he is a prominent villain and he's really good. Like his story, I've always said the villains that are the best are the ones you feel for, and there is plenty. Like not all of them in this get that much story time, but Martin Lee and one other, and sort of another, get that time put into them and their story, and you actually understand why they do what they do, and you feel for them, and you actually get emotionally attached.
It's that like thing that they say, like everyone's the hero in their own story.
Yeah, because like I was saying to you, like I was playing through the game a little bit, and I was a bit annoyed that we already knew about him, who Mr. Negative was, and I was like, it's a bit of it's like they spoiled like a massive bit in the. Because
that was one of the first thing they announced.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
When they first showed the trailer, that was him, and although the E3 thing they showed with the helicopter, they did change that, so it's not him. It's one of his henchmen, but he turns up later. But like, and I'm like, I feel like they're building towards like this reveal in the game, which we already know.
Yeah.
And I was like, but then again, that's the start of the game.
But then you've got on the flip side of that, it's like people who know about it.
Yeah.
This is, do you know what? This is the one thing. This is what I hate about the MCU and the Netflix series. I hate knowing as much as I know, because like people are like, oh my god, this happened, and I'm just there like, yeah. And I actually wish sometimes I didn't know as much as I do, because like when I was a kid, like Marvel was like my jam, and like I knew loads about it, especially the X-Men.
Yeah.
So like,
like you're especially X-Men, is my especially Spider-Man.
So it's one of them, like you're saying, oh, why did they spoil it? But for anyone who knows about Spider-Man, they're gonna hear that guy's name and they're gonna be like, that's Mr. Negative.
I mean, he's relatively a new villain in the comics. Yeah. Like he's not on the levels of, you know, Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and all the others like that. He's not on the levels of the ones
Sandman, Rhino,
Scorpion, Electro. He's not on the levels like every
how many can we get?
He's not on the levels of these ones where everyone knows who he is.
That's a fresh approach,
and that's good, because like you go into this and you don't know necessarily
what he can do,
his limitations. I mean, I knew who he was, I know what his powers were, but I didn't know what his limitations in terms of his influence over other people. I didn't know that, and I was really interested to find out, like, he's got a big role to play in this game. And
are you jealous of, like, say, like, younger kids who don't know nothing about Spider-Man that sit and play this?
I'll tell you what, if I went into this, like, not seen any of the trailers, knew nothing about Spider-Man, this game...
Blow your mind.
I think it's amazing now because I love Spider-Man, but, like, I'll be like, what? Oh my god. Like, so, like, as a fan, you're playing through this game, and there's some bits... Like, I was sending you pictures, and I was like... It's so obvious some of the way it's going to go.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to, like, not say spoilers here. It's really hard. But, like, there's pictures of certain things.
Yeah.
Like,
I know which one you're saying.
And you're like, well, I know how this is going.
Yeah.
Like, in some ways, it's a very predictable Spider-Man story. But in a lot of ways, they do...
Push the boundaries.
Push the boundaries, do stuff different within the relatively predictable story. Like, there's a bit at the end which I didn't see coming, and I was like, so it was, yeah.
They're in an awkward position because they've got to avoid every movie trope that's ever been done.
Yeah.
They've got to be different enough so that it's unmistakably not connected to the MCU.
Yep. Which they do well.
But all at the same time, not being so different, it alienates fans. And obviously you'll have, like, comic book fans. You'll have comic book fans who also enjoy the MCU. You'll have people that only view the MCU. Yeah. And it's hard. It
is hard to please everybody. Yeah. Like, I watched an interview with the guy from Insomniac, and he was so stressed about getting everything right. And obviously people have loved it, and they really, really enjoy it, and it's doing really well review wise and selling out in Japan.
It's almost sold out in Japan.
I don't know why Japan's loving it so much, but they do. It's sold stupidly well in the UK
because like we like they played Final Fantasy, like all the big like RPG kind of games. We're in that, like, because I play...
There's nothing out, like, so like, let's jump on Spiderman.
I play all, like, the Final Fantasies and all them kind of games that they love, and there's a lull for them now.
Well, I suppose that PS4 being a Japanese thing, they just play all the exclusives as well.
Yeah.
But, no, it's doing super well, deservedly so.
Yeah.
The story's amazing. I'm trying to avoid talking about the story because it's very spoiler. It's very easy to go, I will do a spoiler.
We'll do a spoiler one.
Probably with Jake when he finishes it.
Yeah.
Because me and Jake both love it. But in terms of side quests, there's a few iffy ones, but majority are fine. The random crimes are cool and actually not as...
Don't feel like a chore.
Don't feel like a chore. I actually felt like I had to... Like, I'm going to a main mission and one comes up and it's like a couple of 100 metres away. I'm like, how do I do that? Because I feel like I'm Spider-Man. I wouldn't exactly ignore it. And you do the good thing is I ignored a few, and you hear about it later.
Yeah.
Because J. Jonah Jameson in this, he doesn't work at the Bugle anymore. This isn't spoiled because it's in trailers and stuff, but he's got his own podcast, which I think is really funny because it's bringing J. Jonah Jameson
into the now.
Into the now in the times. He's got his own podcast talking about how he hates Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Obviously, it's all he fucking talks about. It's great. It is so funny.
You should do a rival one.
You've got like you listen to it as you're going around the city, and
do you prank call him?
No.
Oh, you should prank call him.
But you get people ringing in saying Spider-Man saved my life and all that. But like, if you don't do a crime, you're like, I just saw Spider-Man go past the crime.
Oh.
And he reacts to that saying, "No, he's a menace" and all that. Like,
yeah.
and like it adds to it, and you're like, "Oh, maybe I should go and do every one of these
crimes."
Cool.
That's a cool.
But I think that's cool. Yeah. One of the best like gameplay. It's not really gameplay.
It's photo mode, isn't it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Photo mode is also one of the best, which I'll come on to in a minute. When you're talking to some like your conversations, the majority of the time are through your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you get called by MJ or Miles or whatever. Yeah. Miles is in this game. You see him in the trailer.
Are they spoilers? Is that a spoiler?
No, it's not.
I'm just staring at him like I don't know.
Miles is in the trailers.
Okay. I'll take you over.
Don't worry. But when you're swinging through the city and people ring you, you're having conversations with them. But like, if you're standing still, the conversation will be normally like this.
Mm-hmm.
If you're swinging, the conversation like he's exerting himself, he's doing it out of breath. But if you suddenly swing and you're talking in mid sentence and you stop, it calms down and he goes back to normal. So their voice actor did everything twice, as if he was fighting or swinging, and one if he was calm, and it just like the track switches automatically whenever you stop, and it's so like I was swinging.
It's a level of detail, isn't it, that makes it better.
It's got such a level of detail, this game. Like, you can tell that like the people that work there love Spider-Man and love the property, and they've put so much detail into it. It's amazing. Photo mode, best thing
This
ever.
is all I've had for like 2 weeks. I like click on my phone. It's like Chris has sent you a photo, and it's literally it's just Spider-Man selfies. Like, that's all it is.
It's the best. Go around doing anything. Like you fight a bunch of guys, and whip them all up behind you, and you're like in front of them, like getting Spider-Man photos. It's best. And you're taking it in front of like all the places that are around. So like Avengers Tower is in the actual city. You got
Nelson and Murdoch.
You've got
Josie's
Investigations, Josie's Bar. You can tell you're a Daredevil fan.
I like Daredevil.
The gym as well, Fogwell's gym.
Oh my god.
You've got
what about Foggy's Butchers that he was going to open?
I don't think that's there. You've got, for the people who don't just watch a Netflix series, you've got Wakanda's embassy and all that. Mm-hmm. It's all the big places that let damage control, all that. And you can take photos in front of them and everything. That's literally what I've been doing. Everyone's done the photo. Like, everyone I've seen who's played it has done the photo where they jump off Avengers Tower and take the photo of Avengers Tower behind them.
Did you do the peace sign?
Yeah.
Mr. Stark said no gang signs.
But that, and just some of the stuff even without the selfie mode, some of the stuff you can take, like with the different, like you've got sepia tone and all that, like you've got negative as well.
Oh no.
Which I don't think, if you took a picture of Mr. Negative,
does it change
it back?
You should go and try.
I might try this.
After this we're going to try.
But it is really fun.
I didn't want it, like I've just got this, I'm just this person that doesn't want to play any of the games of the years. It's like
you should play it before the end of the year, though.
I probably will get around to playing it, like
everything I've told you that.
Yeah, but like from what I've seen you play, it does look really, really good. It's not like it's my personal thing, because obviously I had Tomb Raider, so I knew I wasn't really going to get
you're not that big on Spider-Man either, are you? You know it, but you don't. He's not your favourite.
I know a lot about Spider-Man, obviously, because I'm a Marvel nerd, and I've never really liked Spider-Man. I didn't like. Honestly, the first time I ever liked Spider-Man was when Tom Holland played Spider-Man. Yeah, because he's so little, and he just wants to help, I really liked him as a character, and like when he's like cocky as Spider-Man, it's funny. Whereas when anyone else is cocky as Spider-Man, I'm like, Spider-Man's such a dick.
The voice actor for this guy, Spider-Man, he's really good, and like
it's the male
even when he's emotional or whatever, like you can feel it, and you get him.
Is it the male guy from Sunset?
It's the male guy from Sunset, and you would not know.
No.
You can tell he's got his own voice for Peter. He changed his voice. You know how Spider-Man changes his voice, and he's kind of more happy and joking and all that, like it's very like you can tell he's put himself into that role and he's done it really well.
That's cool.
Same with Laura Bailey as MJ.
It's Laura Bailey, Mary Jane.
Bailey's
Oh
MJ.
my god, what a queen! Laura Bailey's just like, I'm gonna be every sick female character that is on this planet.
This isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailers as well. I've got to make sure. Yeah, it is. You can play as MJ at some points in the game, and
I was going to ask you about that, but I didn't know if it was a spoiler.
No, it's not.
But do you feel like they break the action, or do you feel like they add to the game?
I feel like if you were 100% playing the Spider-Man all the time and it didn't slow down at any point,
yeah,
it's exhausting.
Yeah,
like you want it to slow. It slows down, and it's key to the story as well. And I really enjoy playing as MJ, because she's not the damsel of distress anymore in this game. They've kind of brought her.
They've updated her as well.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
They brought her to how she should be. In my opinion, she's more of a she's a journalist.
Investigatory
journalist. Is that even a word?
How many people you did?
That's the only reason I know that. Zoolander joke.
I love Zoolander.
She's a journalist,
but she's sticking her nose in places where she shouldn't.
I mean, she's like snooping around behind like Kingpin's back and all that. But like, she's really good. She's just like she wants to get involved, and at this at the start of the game, Peter doesn't want her to get involved because he's worried about her. He thinks she shouldn't get involved with all these bad guys and stuff because like he needs to look after her, and he's the one who with the sweet powers. She hasn't got any powers, so she should be protected and she shouldn't be getting involved. And she's like, "Nah, bitch, let me be me."
Do you know, like, I think a bad example of this. Now, again, I love Daredevil. The Netflix series, when it comes to say like Karen Page, like now I know that like she does things obviously because she's not a superhero, but she sticks her nose in, she's doing things, and she's essentially doing what you've just said. Mary Jane does.
Help
and
all the time.
then I'm there like, why is she getting involved? Like, she's an idiot. Why don't she just leave it to Daredevil? And so it is very easy for that kind of stuff to go wrong.
Yeah.
So you feel like it's been handled really well.
She can handle herself.
Yeah.
She can deal with stuff like that, and her missions are really fun.
And she's not annoyed, because I think Karen's really annoying.
No, this is my favourite version of Mary Jane I've ever in anything. Like, I didn't particularly like Kirsten Dunst's Mary Jane in the original Spider-Man films because she was just a damsel in distress.
She was there to be his dog.
She was a prop to be kidnapped and him have to rescue.
Yeah.
Several times.
but that's a product of the time.
No, that is. You
know what I mean? Like,
I mean, that happened in the old comics.
True.
But there's been a lot more comics since then. There's been a lot more TV shows. There's been a lot more movies.
And she's become.
She's basically.
What's it called?
His partner. Oh, I can't remember now. That doesn't happen.
All I'm thinking about is Spider-Gwen, and that's the wrong person. I can't even think about Mary Jane.
Spider MJ? I don't know. We'll need to come up with more creative names.
Do you think starting from such, like, obviously not starting from the origin story and starting so far into like his career was a good move?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, because no one wants to see a fucking origin story again.
That's a risky move. I think that's a risky move as well, because again, you've got the people who are old like us and are sick to the back teeth of origin movies of Spider-Man, and then you've got young people who like.
Everyone, I think they.
Everyone knows he's bitten by a spider. I think that's.
In a way, I think they have to rely on. People know what Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
It's the face of Marvel mostly across the whole thing, and people know what Spider-Man is and how it happened. They do well in this game on referencing stuff. He's been Spider-Man for 8 years.
Yeah.
And they reference what villains he's fought before, who he knows what's happened with, like he's just Peter's general world as well as his Spider-Man's just general.
So they're telling it you without actually sitting you down
they put
and
it across well in like cutscenes and even just finding you go around finding backpacks, and these old backpacks. So you find, oh yeah, this is when I fought Rhino. This is when I fought Mysterio, who I was disappointed wasn't in the game. That's a spoiler, but like it's not, and it's disappointing. But hopefully in the future ones.
Sin count on one.
But really, I really enjoyed it, and I didn't want to finish it. I platinumed it, and I was literally, even at the end, I was just going through doing all the random crimes, because there's only so many random crimes in each area for each faction. You have 4 factions. I won't say what they are, but there's 4 different factions. And I was just going around doing all the random crimes. Even that was fun. After I finished the story and all the side missions, there was nothing else to do apart from that. And I enjoyed that. And then I platinumed it, and now I literally go in that city. I had nothing to do. And it's devastating because I loved
Did
it
you
so much.
finish the book?
No, I am going to finish the book now.
From the bit of the book that you read, obviously, like you got halfway through. Do you think it
sets up the universe well?
Yeah. Well,
yes.
Do you think it's like a necessary, or if you skip it, are you missing?
It's not necessary.
Much?
It adds a lot to it.
Yeah.
Like at the start of the game, Mary Jane and Peter aren't together, and that sets up that. I
had to Google that because I needed to know why.
It becomes pretty apparent the reason why.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly in the game.
It's a pretty. You could guess, really.
Yeah. It's an understandable reason as well why that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, like all the characters get set up within that book, and it's worth a read. But
it's not very big.
No, it's like 400 pages. I mean, the only reason I didn't finish it before the game is because I only got it a day before the game, and then I couldn't wait for the game. I couldn't wait to finish the book, so I was like, I'll just jump in. But yeah, it sets it well, and that universe is just the best Spider-Man universe. It's better than any of the movies, in my opinion. And that's a big statement to say, but like...
There's been an announcement that this is actually the start of the universe.
In the interview with the Insomniac guy, he said that this Spider-Man is the Iron Man of this gaming universe. Whether that's just words he used to say in terms of more Marvel games coming, whether that means a definite universe. People have took it different ways. I hope it means a definite universe. It would be difficult to do, but if they can pull it off, I reckon they can pull it off better than the movies, and that universe could be better than the movies. I really do, because some of the movies in the film universe,
we haven't got enough time in the world for me to talk trash about the MCU.
But no, I'm intrigued to see where they go with it if it is a universe, and what better way to start than this game, because Spider-Man's someone everyone knows.
See, I'm super hyped for Square Enix's
Avengers when it comes 6 years down.
Because I love Square Enix games, and I really like the Avengers, so I'm super hyped for that.
That's the next one, and I'm very intrigued to see how they connect it, because the way they connect it in this, I feel, is that the Avengers are basically out of town.
Yeah.
There's a funny little Easter egg where they say they're on the West Coast, which is just happens to be where Square Enix is based, making the game. So I thought that was a little funny Easter egg. But yeah, they're not around at the moment. So that explains why Spider-Man has the whole city to himself, which is cool. How they're going to handle that in the future ones or not. There will be more games. How they're going to go, I don't know, because there's plenty of ways they can go from the end of this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's definitely going to be more.
There's potential.
Probably won't come out this console generation, which is a shame because I just want one now. There is DLC coming out. There is one on October the 23rd.
Black Cat.
Which is a Black Cat DLC they've already announced.
Whoop, whoop. Everyone loves Black Cat. She's cool.
Everyone, yeah. And
she's fit.
She's fit,
yeah.
Completely.
I agree. 100% agree.
But yeah, everyone loves Black Cat. And then there's another one, which I can't remember what it's called.
But blatantly Silver Sable.
There's one of them called Silver something, and I'm like, well, that's to do with Silver Sable. Who, in this game, very, very good character. Doesn't come into it as quick as you want, but when she does,
is she a bad bitch?
She is a badass. Like, doesn't do as much as you want her to, necessarily. But I imagine that's what the DLC is for.
Yeah.
But, like, she is a character that I'm interested in, which, in the general Spider-Man universe, hadn't been before. Like, she's not that much. She wasn't really that much on my radar. I didn't really care for her, but like on this, I really think she was pretty cool. And I like her.
What's the other DLC called?
I can't remember.
Should we Google it and then get the name and then
one comes out in October, which is the Black Cat one, which is called The Heist. So I imagine she's gonna. That'd be cool. She'd have a little sidekick, because that's basically what she is. Apparently, because J. Jonah Jameson says one of his podcasts that about her being his little sidekick, and then turned out to be a thief.
Really?
Yeah. So you get those little like past stories about what's happened before through that as well, which is really cool. But yeah, and then there's two. It was one in October and one in December. One in October, November, and then one in December. So you're getting them all before the end of the year. Now, whether there's more after that, I don't know. I hope so. I really do. But then again, they got to at some point work on the next game. So
if it loads up, I'll tell you all. My phone's like thinking about it, but the heist,
which is the Black Cat,
Turf Wars, Silver Linings.
Silver Lining will be Silver Sable last then. Turf Wars. Now that's interesting.
I would say that's something to do with Kingpin.
Possibly. Although, a lot of stuff... I don't want to spoil anything. You know the other gangs?
Yes.
The one beginning with M
Mm-hmm.
and the other one. I don't want to spoil anything, but like, they're mentioned in the game. Anyone who knows Marvel will know who I mean. They're mentioned in the game. I feel like they could come involved.
They're like them two gangs in Batman that always fight.
Yeah, like
the two.
They're on the levels of the Falcone family
Yeah.
and the other one. Yeah, so like that kind of turf wars could happen. That could be interesting. Because like obviously, it's very early in the game. One of your first missions is putting Kingpin away in jail. So you get rid of Kingpin.
I like the way, as you said that, like you went a bit more quiet and like, it's not a spoiler if I don't say it as loud.
It's early in the game. You see it in the trailer. It's fine. Anything I've said so far is not like anything massive that you have to worry about being spoiled, because like there is more stuff that could be. Don't look at spoilers because it'll ruin the game for you. But
if you look at spoilers, I'll totally support this because I do it too. So,
but he gets put away very early on in the game, and obviously other gangs, I feel, are going to move in.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't been enough time yet, I don't think, for that to happen. But I reckon at DLC, that's what that'll be.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Because we had sort of the repercussions of that in the Netflix series, and obviously Kingpin goes down, and then that's what they said, like, crime's rife because he used to keep everyone in line.
Yeah, that becomes a thing. Like the little guys come, even when Spider-Man's doing little crimes, he's like, the little guys are coming out. Maybe I missed Kingpin. he kept things in order. Yeah, and it's true. Like it goes to show. But yeah,
it goes to show in that fictional universe, Kingpin was a hero after all.
did some good, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, it's a good game. Very good game. I'm going to stop talking about it now because we've been talking about it for ages. I will allow you to move on to Tomb Raider.
Oh, he's going to allow me. Okay.
Stop talking about Spider-Man.
Yeah, I had Tomb Raider. I've had it. I had the craft edition,
Shadow
so I had
Tomb
it
Raider.
2 days before release.
So was that a good idea?
Yeah.
Yeah? Cool.
Why?
Because you said it was buggy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right. I initially.
So that's what you get playing 2 days. Right?
I put this game in, and it opens with the scene that they've showed. Again, it's not a spoiler. I'm not going to talk about spoilers in this.
Or do we will do spoiler casts?
Yeah, because he hasn't played it.
I'm going to play it.
He's waiting for me to finish it so he can play it. So it opens with the scene of Lara and Jonah in the plane, and the plane goes down.
That's the scene from the trailer, right?
I think that's one of the first pieces they showed.
Yeah, I remember because yeah.
So I'm watching this scene. The lip sync is so far out. It was bad. Like Lara looks up.
You're playing on a PS4 Pro.
I'm playing on a Pro. Lara looks up at like where I know the plane's meant to rip open, and look, she's looking up, and it's just stuck. And I'm like, what am I paying for? Like this game's gone gold. Was it like that 2 months before?
Months ago.
And this is the thing, like, there's a lot of bugs in it. They're not game breaking. They're annoying, but they're not the end of the world. But it's just the fact that this is a AAA game made by Square Enix that's been gold for 2 months. Yeah. I don't expect it to be unpolished. It's unpolished is the word I would use.
Yeah.
So, like, certain things like... You reach out to grab something, and it's the branches that you have no control over. So you grab them, and she jumps straight away onto the next one. Mm-hmm. So you have no control. She'll grab it. She'll either, like, I've had a glitch where she pulls herself up onto it, gets stuck in a, like, animation where she's like, as if she's going to fall, and then just falls through the branch. Oh. Or, like, she grabs it, jumps to the next bit, and then just misses. And it's like, but I have no control over that. Why are you giving me a death when that's nothing on me?
Weird.
Other little weird things like that. Her face is not great, but with camera mode, it makes it so much better.
I've seen trailers of stuff.
She's so
her face looks so different to the second one.
She's really bad. She looks really bad. Not bad. She just doesn't...
She's still fit.
She's Tomb Raider.
Yeah, that's yes then.
She just... I don't know. It looks... less detailed.
Hasn't it?
Like her features are more
How
bland.
long since Rise?
I'm not sure.
Is it longer?
I think it's been a while because they tell you at the start of the game. So basically between
No, I meant in terms of development.
Oh, development, I'm not sure. A while.
Because if they have less
a long while.
time, maybe.
But basically what's been going on is
it's different development.
After obviously she discovers Trinity in the second game, and that Trinity is responsible for the death of her father. That's in the second game. I'm saying that because if you haven't played Rise by now, then, you know, it's your own fault. So her and Jonah have been going around.
That's a trope in Tomb Raider for been a while.
Well, yeah. Her and Jonah have been going around taking down individual cells of Trinity. Mm-hmm. And the game starts, you come to a certain place and you find a thing that sets you off on this big journey. Like, it is online. Like, I've watched the first hour of this game on YouTube and stuff, but obviously obviously not everyone's gonna have watched it, so no. But it starts you off on this big journey. I'm not feeling a lot of what they've put out. So it's like Lara starts the mine apocalypse, which
does she though? Spoilers though.
But no, but that's what they've said from the start.
Oh, okay.
So like we all knew that was coming, and it's like, yeah, you do. You started at the very start of the game. No one seems that bothered.
No, in the mines.
Like, you start this apocalypse and you're like, oh my god, no, I'm gonna... And then, like, even Jonah's like, chill out, we'll fix it. And people you come across are like, it's alright, we'll fix it. And I'm like... And
this didn't seem no urgency.
People have been saying, like, Lara's really mean in this one, and I'm not seeing that either. I think she was... In the second game, I think she was really harsh, and she was... Like, the language, she was, like, swearing and she was all mean, wasn't she? In this one, I'm not seeing that. I'm 75% into through the game. Because I do all the collectibles and stuff. That's why I'm not finished it yet. Because I've been going around collecting. But I'm not seeing this. Unless it's all literally going to happen in the last...
20 minutes.
Like, I'm not seeing this Dark Lara. And I haven't seen anything yet. That, like, this defining moment. Yeah, like unless it is this one thing that I've seen, which I wouldn't class it as.
Tell me about that, I doubt it.
Because we've had a similar part in the first game.
Yeah.
Where she's like, okay, no more nonsense now, like, let's go.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that's the defining moment, and if it is, that's very disappointing. But like I say, I'm not near to the end of the story. I prefer it to the story of the second game. I wasn't feeling the second game.
I thought it was alright mechanically. The gameplay was a bit... See, my problem with Tomb Raider is they tried to ground it to reality, and then at the little bit at the end they're always like, nah, it's still fucking magic shit.
See, I was the opposite of that. I was the opposite of that. I started playing it and
just
I was
choose, man.
Where's all the magic and where's all this? And that's why I was happy that it had the ending that it did.
I don't mind it, but like they need to, if they're going for the grounded look, just ground the time as much as you can. We still have the magic, just ground the magic in a way. What's
funny is like you're seeing things in this game and like she's going through and she's like, wow, and all this and that, and it's like we literally
Didn't you see fucking
we've
gods?
Seen like Sun Queen, you met Jesus, like you need to like it's almost like there's no real callbacks to it. It's nothing new.
I think I got amnesia actually.
That's not a criticism. Like I'm really enjoying it, but there's nothing really.
It's more Tomb Raider.
Yeah, it's
not a bad
more
thing,
of the same.
But there's nothing really changes. I've had the ropes changed. That's it. Like they're going down.
Yeah, you can grapple down now.
Didn't know how to do that before.
It's more like terrain. Like there is a lot more things to do on the terrain.
Is it more environmental, like climbing? And,
do you know what? There's not much combat in it. It's a lot more exploration.
That's what I like in Tomb Raider.
So I'm really.
There was too much shooty bang bangs in the second one, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yes, I agree there. The hub really is like a big open world, like it always has been. So like.
Is it still like open world areas? Then you move on to the next open world area, and it's like it's not one massive open. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, so obviously you go back with the campfires and whatever, and you go back and find things you've missed. It has that mechanic of like you can't access this area till you get the shotgun. You can't do this before you get this. A lockpick is now a thing. Is that been a thing in the last ones? I don't ever remember it being a thing before. There's a lockpick now.
There's locked doors now. Then
it's chests.
Oh. Is it just a press the button and it lockpicks, or do you have to actually do it?
No, you just press the button and it goes.
Oh, they could have put that in. That's a puzzle. Right? I don't know.
In regards to there's challenge tombs and there's crypts.
What's the difference?
So a challenge tomb is you go inside and there'll be a puzzle essentially. You solve the puzzle.
So like the wind one from the first one. That kind of puzzle.
Sort of, yeah. So like you go in, you'll do the puzzle, you get to the top, and you read like it's like a statue, and you push it down, and something pops up, and you read it, and you gain a skill.
Okay.
So like you will get the ability to. I'm trying to think of one that I got really early in the game. Just sort of like things to have. Like if you see the map of all the skill trees, there's ones that are locked, and they're only available through these tombs.
Right.
There's nothing amazing.
Do you need them? Or are they like skills?
I've got to the point now where I have all the skills that I want. I got all the skills I wanted very early on.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I do the collectibles, I killed all the animals, I'm a bad person. And so I leveled up really quick. So I've got all the skills I want, so now it's just like leftover things, but there's the Path of the Warrior, which
is there any side collectibles and stuff that you feel like are a bit pointless or anything?
You know, what I do feel like there's a lot to collect, and there's one particular area which if you're playing the game and you get there and it's a very, very big open hub world, and it's very hard to navigate because you're going around and you kind of like obviously the map's all open.
Yeah.
I think it would have benefited from having a map that fills in as you walk around, because it's very hard to think where you've been, where you haven't been, and it feels like you're walking around. Like the other day, I must have been playing it for 7 hours, and I did like two missions, if that, and the rest of it was just looking for collectibles and doing like side stuff. So I feel like there's too much of that and not really that much story.
Yeah.
But it's my like I like to collect, so obviously I don't have to do that. I could just go and play the story.
Yeah.
But going back to the leveling up, there's 3 paths. There's the warrior, scout, scavenger.
Is that a skill tree?
Yeah. So warrior, again, it's fighting. It's basically fighting. It's you getting more health. It's being able to like shoot 3 hours at a time. The scout one.
You see more.
I think it's like.
You think, maybe.
Yeah, the scout and the scavenger one. I always get confused because I feel like there should have been named the opposite. So like the green one is all about like you can hold your breath longer in water.
Yeah.
You can
stealth basically.
It's more like practical skills, and the blue one on the top is like, so like, there's one that I like where merchants give you a better deal.
Right.
You can pick your arrows back up out of dead bodies, that kind of stuff. You can see more things in
survival view, or wherever it is.
Yeah, like
detective mode.
I can't think what it's called.
The thing they run from Batman.
Yeah, essentially. So I really focused on the blue section because combat I'm not fussed about. Like I know how to headshot someone with an arrow. The green side, like being able to swim faster and all that, like the collectible side takes priority for me. So anything that's going to help me find collectibles easier, that's what I want first. But obviously, like, you can build her however you want to build her, but it's there's not much combat in this game, I feel.
That's good though. Because it's not... Tomb Raider doesn't have to be full-on combat all the time. I feel like Tomb Raider should be more about the tombs. It's called Tomb Raider.
The crypts, when you go through, you
Are they good? Are they the best bits of the game? Because they used to be. In 2 they were.
They're alright. They're not as big as the challenge tombs, obviously.
Yeah.
But you find, like, obviously, a crypt, and you push the lid off, and you get a recipe to build an outfit.
So it's not machine gun parts anymore.
Which I think makes more, like, it makes more sense. It makes more sense to learn a skill.
Yeah.
Because it's her gaining knowledge, essentially.
Yeah, you don't generally find machine gun parts in 1,000-year-old crypts.
True.
Stupid that they did in the first place.
The outfits, like...
Good they changed that.
The outfits, again, it's really good for moulding the gameplay to how you want it. Or, like, certain parts. So if you are into the sort of, like... I have the one that benefits me in combat and makes me harder to detect and all that sort of stuff. But then on the other side, it's like, gain more resources from plants, gain more resources from this, blah, blah, blah. But you can earn them on the skill tree as well. So if you're not, like, choosing one over the other, you can, like, accommodate for it. The weapons, I had the DLC pack because I had the Cross Edition, and honestly, they're the best weapons in the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like,
they normally aren't, are they?
I've been buying the guns rather than that, and I've been upgrading them because, like I say, I collect everything, so I've got resources for days. So I can fully upgrade anything I buy, and it's still not as good as my DLC stuff.
Oh, wow.
So, again...
That's what you get for pre-ordering, guys. Easy game.
But again, the combat's not really... It's standard, and especially now you can cover yourself in mud like some Predator. And, like, you just hide in the walls. The enemies are scared of you in this game.
That's good.
Which is, I thought was quite interesting. So, like, you'll be hiding and you hear them talking and it comes on the radio and they're, like, crafting your area. And they're like, yeah, I'll kill her. And then they put the radio down and they're walking around and they're like, as if being in the jungle's not scary enough. And now Lara Croft's around. You know what I mean? So, like...
So you're known then?
Yeah, like, the people are scared of you. So I can see that bridging this whole thing of her becoming the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
And obviously she's more like, when they said like she's more deadly, she is. So there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not.
It's just nothing. It doesn't feel like it's very. It's
not groundbreaking. It's not nothing new.
It's not like big changes.
Yeah. It's more of the same, and that's not in no way a criticism because I love the Tomb Raider games.
It was really good in the first place.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see how, because at the end I'm assuming you become the Tomb Raider, and I want to know what that.
That's the big thing though, being like hyping off with the advertisement and
that's the thing, like
views and stuff.
Yeah,
you become the Tomb Raider in this game,
but she's already
she's such a badass
proficient.
Yeah,
I don't get how they can make her better unless it's going to get like ridiculous.
Freaking murderer! She's becoming Murderbot 2000.
Wow. I don't want to get like it's hard. You can tell she's been worn down by the things that she's had to go through.
Yeah. And
she feels like she's the only person that can do this stuff. Like, if she doesn't step up and
no one will
get involved, who's going to do it?
Yeah.
And she carries that on her, and you can tell, like, it's what keeps her going.
Yeah.
And as the game goes on, you know, she's like, I'm making stuff worse, blah, blah, blah. So obviously, like, I'm sure the end she's going to be, like, sure of herself.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, gameplay mechanics and how the next game, when she is the Tomb Raider, how is that going to work? I feel like
I think you'll have a while until the next game. I think you'll have a bit of a break.
I feel like this idea of her becoming the Tomb Raider is something they've only just really thought of for this last game. Because I don't feel like it was a thought from the start. Because for us, why would the first game be called Tomb Raider? Only Tomb Raider, not like it didn't have like a subtitle. It wasn't like, you know, like origin, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And then like I don't think it was it was an idea that was at the start, and now they're kind of trying to wedge it in, and it's not enough.
Rise
of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Like Shadow seems like it's behind Rise, in my sense. Like the Shadow would be behind her.
Yeah, I think you had like the first game was obviously her.
I suppose it's just behind the Tomb Raider.
Learning.
This is the Tomb Raider in the Shadow. This is the bit leading up because it's just behind it, like literally right next to it.
The first game was her learning the basics because she had no choice. Yeah. There was nothing else for her to do. The second game, she was pretty proficient.
Yeah.
And she had all her stuff, and she could. You didn't really learn nothing new in the second game.
Maybe she's gonna learn not to be such like a fucking murder machine. Maybe she's gonna learn not to be as bad.
No.
Because she's turning into a bit of a bitch, not gonna lie.
That's your opinion. When you play the game, then you're entitled to your opinion. Too. But you know, I thought that. But then if you're thinking about it, because I thought that, look, she's pretty chill in this one compared to what she was like in the second one. But like, I suppose
her friends are all fucking dead.
Well, in the second one, she'd lost her whole crew.
Yeah.
She'd just figured out that Trinity was the reason she lost her father. And obviously, like, she's found that out and now she's confronted by them and they're there. So the anger's, like, fresh. But in this one, I suppose, like, she's chilled out. She's had some time to, like, process it. She's working towards something. So she's not as mad. And then, obviously, like, you get through the game and things are happening and she's like, whose head I got to bust next? But I like, do you know what? I like it. I think a hero that's good 100% of the time is a boring hero.
Yeah, agreed.
But, like, she's not perfect and she's made mistakes. And she does kill people because they would kill her without question. And I think she's...
about Nathan Drake.
Well, does Nathan Drake not kill?
Yeah, he does.
Well, there you go then.
But people shoot at him first. It's my excuse. Unless you're stealth killing, then you don't know they're going to shoot you first.
I stealth kill. I have not made a kill in this game that hasn't been some kind of creepy, like, sneaky stealth kill.
How do you know they're going to kill you first? You don't know this.
Because they're enemies. When you scan them,
they might have a family, you don't know.
They probably do, but they shouldn't be working for some evil organisation, should they? So I like it. I like the fact that she's not, you know, she's made mistakes. She's not a great person, but she's not afraid to be like, you know, wow, this is my fault and I'm going to fix it.
Yeah.
So overall, it's
enjoying it.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it.
What do you give out of 10 so far?
Oh, that's hard. That's really hard. The first one's my favourite. This one's my second favourite.
Alright.
I'd say it's better than the second one.
Right.
It's not as good as the first one in terms of the story, because obviously the first one was like I really, really enjoyed that game. Like that was one of my favourite games I've ever played. So obviously it can't live up to that because it was the first and all that. But I think the story seems very short. And collecting, if you're not into collectibles, it's gonna be a chore for you.
You don't have to do them.
You don't have to do them, but the story's not that long.
See, I just want to do the story.
So you can do it in a day, probably.
I'll do the crypts and the tombs and the story, and that's what I'll do.
I think it's however you want to play it, and obviously you have the option to balance your gameplay with there's combat difficulty, exploration difficulty, puzzle difficulty.
So it's not just an overall difficulty, that's good.
Yeah, because I have my puzzle and my exploration up where I have my combat on easy, because I'm not fussed about that. Like, I'm not playing the game to fight, I'm playing it to look for stuff, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like
to
I
do
want
the Tomb Raider stuff, like
which is, I think that's a good mechanic.
Yeah.
However, whatever you're weakest on, or whatever you're not really interested in, you can just turn it down.
Yeah.
So, without completing the game, because obviously, like, they could drop some stuff. Like, the end of this game could be the best thing ever, and it could put it above the first game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But don't go into it expecting it to be the next big thing in the Tomb Raider, because it's not.
It's just more of it.
It's more of the same. There's a few new gameplay mechanics, but it's nothing that's amazing. It's nothing. It's nothing that will stand out.
Not going to win Game of the Year.
I don't know.
It's not going to be up for it.
Probably not.
No.
Probably not, because Game of the Year is always something that should be fresh and something new, and this really isn't. But not in a bad way. It's hard. It's really hard to explain because I sound like I'm slagging it off, but at the same time I haven't stopped playing it for like 4 days, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
But I get
it.
You expect something new, and the hype and the things they've been saying. I think I expected to see the changes in her and what everything that people have been saying about her. I think I just expected to see it. And if it all happens in the last 20 minutes of the game, then it's not really... Yeah. It's a cop-out, isn't it?
No really growth towards it, like...
No. I don't know. But, again, when I finish it, I'll have a lot more to say.
Spoiler cast.
Yeah.
But, yeah. That's literally what I've been playing, it.
Yeah, that's all I've done. That's all I've done for like 4 days. Since the day come out.
Like, the first big games of the autumn...
For us,
fall, thing. What's next?
Kingdom Hearts and Resident Evil next year.
Is that for you? That's the next thing for you?
Yeah.
Spyro, you want to play Spyro?
I'm going to play it, but I played it when I was 7, so...
Yeah, it's not like that. So next big thing for me would be Red Dead, probably. Don't know what else. What else is coming out?
Pokemon Red Dead. When's Odyssey out?
Oh, that's out soon as well.
Is it out soon?
Yep.
Oh, no.
That comes out the same day or something. And it's a game. You know it came out the same day as fucking Mario.
Oh god.
And I wanted to play both games. It's come out the same day as something again, and I can't remember what it is. But I want to play both. I don't know.
Play the one that's going to be shorter. Or play the one that you're not so bothered about spoilers.
See, I can't remember. I played Origins afterwards because I wanted to look at reviews. So I played Mario first. No, I don't know actually. I can't remember. Oh well. There's too many games out last year. Sam's going to be with this year. But
that's what EGX is for. We can weed them out.
Yeah. Talk about EGX. We're going to EGX, in case you haven't gathered it from this podcast so far. We're going to EGX. I think it's the 20th
to the 23rd.
To the 23rd. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday at Birmingham NEC. On the Saturday, we're doing cosplay as Overwatch with all the Overwatch crew that we've met throughout this year. Seems longer than that, but it's been literally a year.
Yeah.
So they're all coming down for the day. Some of them on Sunday as well. But yeah, we'll all be there. The other days, apart from Kate, we'll all be in Vita Deditae t-shirts. Kate's lost hers all since last year and still can't find them. So...
I'm forgetful. I've also misplaced my Assassin's Creed Syndicate hoodie.
Oh no.
So I wore that to EGX, so I feel like wherever they are, they're together.
They're all in the same place, probably, yeah. But yeah, we'll be wearing them, so if you see us, come say hi. But yeah, we're looking forward to EGX. We're going to play a lot of games. I look forward to the indie section, because I always find something new that
the best section.
Really fans really interesting. I mean, we found
Adventure Pals
through that. We found Night Bazaar. Brawl Out as well. Yeah, we found a good few games that we really liked through that. So hopefully we can get a few more.
We'll have a report for you all on the games that we like, what we thought of the AAAs.
Yeah, we'll do, not like we normally do, we'll do two podcasts. We'll do a AAA podcast and then an indie podcast. So we'll see you then if we don't see you at EGX. That's it. Bye.
Bye.
If you like that video and want to see more like it, then click this playlist button here. If you happen to want to subscribe to us and check out all our content, then click this amazing sexy button right here. Look how enticing it is. You know you want to click it. And if you're already subscribed to us, well then you are already an awesome human being.